Diyan sa BPI, tatawid na lang ako.
Quality education need not be expensive. GIST is founded from a heart that is proper. As I always remind and emphasize to our students, never should they forget the values instilled in them such as respect, hard work, dependability, dedication, creativity, and productivity. These are the individuals GIST would like to produce.
Gateway's Institute of Science and Technology provides an effective way for the students to learn. First is lecture method, an effective way of imparting knowledge or new information to students. Second is action learning. It is an approach to solve real-life problems. Third, teaching a skill performed through demonstrations by the teacher, followed by practice by the students. E-learning system is used through digital resources powered by Neo-LMS, and model distance learning features individualized instruction that allows students to use self-learning module in printed copy.
Ang ating curriculum ay aligned sa industry requirements. Marami tayong industry partners where we send our students for their on-the-job training. Through their industry exposure, help our students to enhance their productivity and responsibility. Plus, increase their chances of career mobility and employability.
Mahal ko po ang GIST dahil po ito yung nagsisilbing pangalawang tahanan ko. Napili ko po ang course na IPS dahil na rin po sa hilig ko sa teknolohiya. At ang GIST po ay makakatulong sa akin upang maging globally competitive worker. Dahil na rin po sa mga butihing guro ng GIST na nagsusumikap at tumutulong upang mabigyan kami ng magandang edukasyon.
Napili ko po ang HRS sapagkat bata pa lamang po ako ay hilig ko na pong magluto at napili ko po ang JST para po madagdagan po ang aking kaalaman. Tinuturing ko na po itong pangalawang tirahan. At pinagmamalaki ko po ang JST sapagkat lahat ng nakakasalumuha ko dito ay iba't ibang tao at masaya po ako dito. Dito ko po naramdaman na welcome po ako sa second family ko at mga naging kaibigan. Napili ko po ang Office Management System dahil dito ko rin po makikita sa GIST kung saan mag-i-improve para magamit ko yung communication skills ko and office management skills po.
I choose accountancy, business, and management because I want to become an accountant someday. And ABM strand in GIST equips me with knowledge to achieve my goal in life.
We keep our students active and alert in both curricular and non-curricular activities. We have annual inter-branch sport fest and skill Olympics. Test the skills competition, GIST top model, blood donation, gift giving, and many more.
The legacy of GIST remains, and that is competitiveness coupled with positive values. I believe that the realization of GIST's mission and vision will only be realized. Truly, an institution destined to empower the poor, be of help, and serve at all times as part of its social responsibility. And most importantly, never cease to believe, dream, and persevere in the hope for success.
Good morning, scholars. Let us bow our head and feel the presence of our dear Lord.
We give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because He's given Jesus Christ, His Son. Give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because He's given Jesus Christ, His Son. And now let the weak say, I am strong. Let the poor say, I am rich because of what the Lord has done for us. And now let the weak say, I am strong. Let the poor say, I am rich because of what the Lord has done for us. Give thanks. Sing it. We give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because He's given Jesus Christ, His Son, His Son. Give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because He's given Jesus Christ, His Son. And now let the weak say, I am strong. Let the poor say, I am rich because of what the Lord has done for us. And now let the weak say it, I am strong, oh yes. Let the poor say, I am rich because of what the Lord has done for us. Give thanks. Oh, we give you thanks. We give thanks. We give thanks.
Welcome to the TESTA online program. This is Netiquette, Basic Internet Etiquette for e-learning. Before we start with this course, let's go through the basic guidelines in e-learning. Just like in face-to-face learning, to succeed in a virtual classroom, you have to follow instructions, study hard, attend your classes, take notes, submit requirements on time, and participate in activities and discussions. Of course, all forms of dishonesty are still unacceptable and have similar consequences. At the same time, e-learning is different. We don't always get to see each other's faces, our expressions, gestures, and even hear the tone of how we speak, which are important nonverbal cues of communication. So, how do we make sure that we get to communicate and interact effectively with facilitators and learners in our e-learning classes? Well, with Netiquette. Netiquette, or internet etiquette, is the proper and acceptable behavior in the internet. It's how we conduct and engage in the online world. Basically, it's manners for the virtual society, and in our case, proper conduct in our e-learning courses. Here are the basic e-learning etiquette that we must observe in the duration of this course. Number 1. Be respectful. Always be respectful and considerate of your fellow netizens when communicating through email, discussion boards, chat rooms, and audio-video conferences. In addition, also be mindful of personal beliefs, backgrounds, spaces, and privacy. Number 2. Take e-learning seriously. As they say, what you put in the internet stays in the internet. Your conduct in the internet reflects who you are, and the same goes to e-learning. That's why it is important to think before you click. Always remember, review and edit before you send or post anything. Number 3. Be presentable. Present yourself properly in all the different platforms. If you will be seen or heard, wear appropriate clothes and make sure that your space is devoid of distractions such as inappropriate backgrounds and loud noises. Number 4. Read first. Read first instructions and scroll through threads before you comment. Do not ask what has already been stated. Ensure that you understand the context of what you are replying to. If you want to clarify something, make sure it hasn't been asked or said before. There might be things that you might have missed, so go through the thread or the text. If things are still not clear, then you may seek clarification. Number 5. Use proper language. When communicating online, please use proper language. Be clear and concise. Check your spelling and grammar, and avoid text speak and slang terms. Number 6. Mind your expressions. Expressing ourselves is very important. However, in the online world, there are times that we can be misinterpreted. Be careful with what you say and how you say it. Do not use caps lock. This can be considered as yelling. As mentioned earlier, use proper language. Also, avoid using emoticons, humor, and sarcasm. This may be interpreted differently. Others may not get it, and some may find it offensive. In addition, choose your words and tone down strong language. Difference in opinion can be settled through calm and courteous language and proper explanation. Number 7. Cite your sources. Ensure that you give credit when you reference something, especially when using quotes and ideas. Please practice proper citation and do not plagiarize. Number 8. Be precise. Be direct, objective, and brief with your comments. Stay on topic and avoid posting or commenting on things not connected to the subject at hand. Number 9. When providing a comment or opinion on the discussion topic, explain your stand and clarify what it means. Support your answer with proper references, but don't forget, be precise. Number 10. Identify what and whom you are referring to. In discussions, topics and comments may overlap. When you are commenting, always refer to the topic and to whom you are addressing the message or comment to. Example, "Hi Carla, regarding what you said about LO5, I agree with you. I think we can develop a rubrics for that." Number 11. Use standard fonts. Avoid fancy and stylized fonts as this can be distracting. In addition, use proper text sizes. 10 to 12 points are acceptable. Number 12. Prepare for your activities and be on time. Prepare for synchronous activities such as audio-video conferencing and scheduled discussions. Be on time. Respect the time and bandwidth of others. Number 13. Wait for your turn. During audio-video conferencing and live discussions, allow others to finish their statements. Mute your microphone when it is not your turn. Notify the facilitator if you want to speak through the chat feature and wait to be recognized. And lastly, number 14, secure confidential information. Do not share your passwords to anyone and regularly update it. Do not send or share confidential information, most especially in informal platforms. There you go. Keep this in mind and I'm sure you'll succeed in your e-learning course. What are we waiting for? Let's start this class.
Good morning po. Check lang po ako kung sino po ang mga present sa aking trainee today. Miss Argent Reyes, say present as I call your name. Argent Reyes. Candy Luna. Sino po ito si Dane? De Leon Jan Alexis.
Present po.
Girly Cruz.
Present po.
Heidi Iligan. Are you here, ma'am?
Present, ma'am. Present po, ma'am.
Okay po, noted po, ma'am Heidi. Jeremy Villegas. Jewel Idano. Kayla Cornejo.
Present po.
Marijoy Alvarez.
Present po.
Murillo Miracle po ba ito?
Yes po. Present po.
Uy, magkano din po? Sige po sa 7-Eleven? Alin? 7-Eleven na yun na. Ito? Opo, ma'am. Magkano ito? Magkano bigyan mo? Hindi ba siya sale? Sale saan? Saan? Opo. Again po, good morning po. Andito po ba si Ma'am Raisa Afante? Raisa Afante? Si Ma'am Lay Samantha Caranza?
Present po.
Ma'am Soledad Condinio?
Present po, ma'am.
Kayla Cornejo?
Present po.
Miss Rowena Dalida Corpus? Miss Girly Cruz? Miss Girly Cruz, are you here?
Present po.
Jan Alexis De Leon?
Present po, ma'am.
Mario Labanan Hernandez? Jewel Venice Idano?
Present po.
Rogelani Lara?
Present po, ma'am.
Miss Candy Luna.
Present po.
Miss Kate Luna.
Present po.
Miracle Morillo.
Present po.
Marijoy Nitafan.
Present po.
Ernaline Kutane Ogaya. Are you here, ma'am?
Ma'am, nasa work po siya, ma'am.
Mary Jane Ramirez Rilente. Ashley Resurrection. Advance yan. Oo. Miss Niza Policarpio, Mary Jane Rilente or Riliente.
Present.
Ashley Resurrection.
Miss Jovell, narinig po ako.
Yes, ma'am. Ano po yun?
Okay, sorry. I said present.
Pwede mo na lang, ma'am, i-type sa chat box natin kasi medyo po hindi po maintindihan yung sinasabi niyo, ma'am.
Ma'am,
kung
present
yung-
po, Nisa Policarpio.
Okay po. Noted po yan, Ma'am Niza. Kung, for example po, nakadata lang po kayo at hindi makapag-open ng mic, pwede naman po natin gamitin ang chat box to say present. Or kung meron kayong gustong i-comment, gusto pong itanong. Argent Reyes, are you here, Argent Reyes?
Present po.
Richelle Rodeo.
Present po.
Mary Rose San Pedro. Mary Rose San Pedro. Jeremy Villegas.
Present po.
Rizalyn Yap.
Present po.
So we are only 17 ang aking trainee and then 18 ang totality natin. So before we start, let me first inform you, dear trainee or dear scholars, that our class today is recorded. So for the YouTube link, I will going to send it to our video GC. And then piniprepare ko na po yung ating GC para sa dalawa, which is for the collage and for the video. So kinuha ko po muna yung list po ng trainee ko for the batch 2 kasi meron pong lista po doon or meron pong mga naka-add dun sa GC natin na hindi naman po siya kasama dun sa listing. Kumbaga, ililipat po ng ibang batch. Okay, so as we move on to our discussion again, magandang umaga po.
Good morning po.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning po.
So inform ko lang po kayo na kayo ay gagamit ng Neo LMS para po sa ating asynchronous and malaman ninyo kung ano yung mga tinatopic natin ay doon din po nakalagay. So inform ko kayo na ginagawa na po kayo ng inyong username and password. Paki-download na lang po sa inyong Android phone. Kung kayo po ay may laptop, pakitignan po yung apps ng Neo LMS. Kung kayo naman po ay naka-cellphone, paki-download na lang po sa Google Play Store ang Neo LMS na apps. May katanungan po ba? Wala naman po.
So we're going to start with our basic. Which is communication. Nakikita po ba ang sinishare ni ma'am na
Yes,
topic, which is the participate in workplace communication? Nakikita po ba ito ng clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes po.
For the workplace communication, participate in workplace communication, this topic is under the basic competency. For the participate in workplace communication, punta tayo sa communicating information. So ano po ba ito? So the workers must be able to communicate information to work effectively. Information is communicated in two directions. Sometimes you receive information and sometimes you convey. Sometimes ikaw yung binabatuhan ng informasyon. Sometimes ikaw ay nakikipag-usap, then that is the time that you convey information with one another dun sa kausap mo. Naintindihan po? So ulitin ko ha. Remind ko lang po kayo na kailangan kayo po ay may screenshot ng bawat tinatopic po natin para kayo naman po ay mayroong maipasa as our collage picture. Kasama po ang picture ninyo. Magpa-picture kayo sa kasama nyo dyan sa bahay na kayo po ay nag-answer o sumasagot po sa NEO LMS. Then kayo naman po ay nakikinig dito sa ating Zoom class. Ma'am, what if po recorded po? So kahit nanonood po kayo ng recorded natin sa YouTube, pa-picture po kayo doon sa kasama ninyo sa bahay na kayo po ay nanonood ng YouTube live po natin. So meron kayong may i-attach sa ating collage. Next natin. Gathering information for work. So communicating information, sometimes, di ba sabi natin dito, sometimes you receive. Ikaw yung tumatanggap ng informasyon. And sometimes you convey it. You communicate regularly with your employer or supervisor and your coworker. You might also communicate with customer and supplier, contractor, local government employee, and other people from outside your workplace. So nakikipag-communicate kayo, nakikipag-convey kayo. So ibig sabihin, pumapasok yun sa communicating information. Once na tayo ay nakikipag-usap, gaya ng ginagawa natin ito, whether kayo po ay nasa ibang lugar, basta we are conducting this communicating process, so we are communicating information. We are doing the communicating information. Gathering information for work, every day you have to gather the information that you need for work. How do you gather it? Sometimes information comes from your supervisor, co-workers, client, supplier, and other people you speak with each day. Some information such as work roster, vehicle logbook, or telephone message comes in written form. So katulad yung sinatawag natin na work roster. This is the schedule of work for a week. So pinag-uusapan niya, no, tatanungin mo sa supervisor mo. For example, I am your supervisor, Ma'am Jovell, pwede ko po bang itanong, ano po ba ang oras ng pasok ko? Kunin ko po yung schedule ko para po sa Lunes hanggang sa Biyernes. So that is the example of gathering information for work. Information source, example is We have here letter. Dati talagang sikat ang sulat. Mga galing sa ibang bansa, OFW ang parents, OFW ang asawa, nakikipagsulatan po sila. That is the way ng pagkikipag-communicate nila sa kanilang asawa, kanilang magulang, kanilang pamangkin. Internet website. We also have information sa internet website. Sa letter, nakakuha rin tayo ng informasyon. Kamusta ka na po ba dyan, mami? Diba? Yun ang usual na sinasagot ninyo, hoping ikaw ay palaging nasa mabuting kalagayan. Newsletter. So, SMS, nakakapagbigay din tayo ng informasyon through SMS. Message natin sa cellphone. Memo. For example, tataas daw po ang salary natin mga regular ngayong araw. Starting July 11. So, naka-memorandum yun. Faxes, magpapadala po ako ng information through fax phone. Work notes, industry magazines, you could get some information through the industry magazines. For example, Cosmopolitan, makakakuha ka ng mga information doon sa mga trending na nangyayari ngayon or mga damit, kung ano yung trending na haircut, usually naka-indicate yun doon. Trending na colors for the month, naka-indicate po yun doon. Then for the plants, emails and orders. Next, we have here listen. Okay, listening sa pamamagitan ng pakikinig. Okay, so quite a lot of information is collected by listening to someone. Sa pakikinig mo lang, sabi natin, I am a good listener. Sa pakikinig lang po natin, tatandaan natin is, marami tayong makukuhang information. Pero not all of them, diba, is pwede natin ibigay kahit kaninong makakausap natin. Some of the information na sinishare sa atin, sometimes is, sabi natin is, sweet information, problems, patungkol sa trabaho, gusto mo ba mag-apply dito sa amin? So those are informations na maibibigay sa atin sa pakikinig. Makikinig ka na, ay gusto mo ba magtrabaho dito sa amin? So syempre, sumasagot tayo doon na, ay pasensya ka na, hindi ako pa pwede kasi nag-start na ako dito sa trabaho ko sa GIST. Usually, ganun yung mga nagiging tema ng pagkikipag-usap. For example naman is, gusto ko magtrabaho sa ganitong kumpanya. May alam ka po ba? So, syempre, nakikinig kayo, pumunta ka dito sa lugar na to, sa VGC, marami doon pwedeng pag-applyan. So, through listening, nakukuha mo yung information. So, sa paanong paraan po daw na ilalabas yung listening? Or sa paanong paraan po ba daw na ikakandak yung listening? Sa face-to-face, pakikipag-usap ng harapan. Pangalawa, pakikipag-usap mo sa telepono, pakikipag-usap mo sa radyo, or pakikipag-usap mo sa Viber, sa video chat, or sa iyong mismong smartphone. Is everything clear, scholars?
Yes po, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes po, ma'am.
Observing. We're going to move on to the topic of observing. You can also collect information by observing. For instance, you might count items of stock, check the condition of equipment, or livestock, check the thermometer, vermin, tarps, fuel gauge, watch a TV program or DVD. So, nakakakuha tayo ng informasyon sa pag-observe natin. Pag-observe natin sa paligid, you could get some information. Okay, and then next natin, by counting, okay po, again, for observing, you might also collect information by observation. So, sabi natin, count items of stock. Sa pagbibilang po natin, pag tinanong ka, ilang peraso ang natirang itlog? Kunyari, tayo po ay nag-i-inventory dahil kayo po ay magluluto. So, ang sabi po ni Ma'am Jovell sa inyo, malapit ng assessment ninyo, kailangan nating malaman ilan ang kailangang biling itlog. Ilan po ba ang natira? Yun yung inventory against sa bibilin at dun sa natira mo. So sinabi po ni Ma'am Soledad, ang natira ko po ditong itlog, ma'am, sa lagayan ay merong 10. So ang sabi, ma'am, kinakailangan daw po ay meron tayong 15 pieces na itlog. So ibig sabihin, you observe the pieces of eggs na meron dito at nalalaman mo rin na kinakailangan ay 15, meron pa akong kailangang biling 5 dahil 10 ang natira dito sa lagayan. Okay, clear tayo sa count items of stock. Check the condition of equipment. You need to double check first the oven bago ninyo gamitin. Yung gas bago ninyo gamitin, bakit kailangan siyang i-check? To verify, baka mamaya yung inyo palang oven ay may singaw. Yun pala inyong gas ay ubos na. So that is checking the condition of the equipment, or kaya naman po may singaw na po pala yung hose, na kung saan is kapag sinindihan mo, pwedeng pumutok ang oven. Check the thermometer. You need to double check the thermometer of the oven kung gumagana po ba ito. Dahil kung ito po ay hindi gumagana, so paano mo malalaman kung sakto na yung temperature sa pagpipreheat ng oven? Watch a TV program or DVD. For example, ngayon dati po kasi TV program or DVD. Kaya lamang po, tandaan natin, ngayon ay uso na po ang mga video sa Facebook, sa TikTok. So sasabihin lang natin, tingnan mo na lang po yung pamamaraan kung paano buksan ng oven. So check mo sa YouTube, minsan sinasabi sa inyong ganon. Check mo yung pamamaraan kung paano mag-troubleshoot. Baka meron tayong makita diyang pamamaraan. Pero hindi yung mismong procedure na nandun yung susundin mo. You need to double check first kung accurate po ba yung video na ipinapakita sa inyo doon. Naintindihan po? Kasi pag sinabi natin na pinanood mo yung video, sinunod mo step by step, naputukan ka pa rin. So ibig sabihin, hindi ka pa rin naging observer dun sa paligid mo. You just rely on the video that you watch. Okay, so let's proceed on the recording information. Workplace rely on large amount of information from many different sources to operate effectively. Most of that information is recorded either manual on paper or electronically on computer. Work schedule, product catalogs, orders and receipt, timesheet, and memos are all examples of written information or records found in most workplace. Local written information. Before you can use records, you need to know where to find them. Written information may be located in, saan daw po? Computer database. So, ibig sabihin, those written information, makikita daw po natin sa computer database as long na alam mo kung ano yung pinaka-file name. Sa shelves, sabi natin, hanapin daw po natin yung pangalan ng recipe ni Ma'am Jovell. Hanapin mo sa shelves. For example, sabi ni Ma'am Jovell, hanapin mo dyan ang ubi cheese pandesal recipe sa shelves. So yun yung hahanapin mo, ubi cheese pandesal recipe. For the counters, dun sa counters, sasabihin sa'yo, hanapin mo dyan yung susi para sa tools. So hanapin mo yung shelves para sa tool kit. Next natin, we have here the filing cabinet. Doon nyo naman po makikita sa filing cabinet yung mga kinakailangan po nating gamit. Opo. Next natin, we have here the drawers. Sa drawers, naka-alphabetically arranged tayo doon. Clean board or whiteboards. Doon naman po natin nakikita, kung ano yung mga kinakailangan po nating ayusin. Or doon nakasulat kung ano yung mga information or notes para sa araw na ito.
Okay, so expand na tayo ng review natin para sa assessment.
Okay, next natin, we have here the organizing written information. Records need to be kept in the same place all time so that everyone knows where to get them when they, when they want to use them. It would be very frustrating to find that the vehicle logbook was not in the truck as it should be, or that someone has moved the orders book. So that is how do you organize the written information. So paano nga ba natin ginagawa? Sabi natin, records need to kept in the same place. Lahat lang dito sa shelves na to, nakalagay yung kailangan recipe. Sa other filing cabinet, doon nakalagay yung inventory sheet natin. So that is how are we going to organize the written information. Next natin, recording information accurately. For the recording information accurately, written information is only used if it's accurate and legible. A great deal of time and effort can be saved in the longer terms if you have take care to check that the information is correct before you write it down. If your handwriting is very clear, it might be better to print the information so that it can be easily read. So, ibig sabihin, para madaling makita ang mga recording ninyo or mas madali or easily ninyo makikita sa filing cabinet, wag na kayong magsulat ng script. Sulatin nyo na lang yung mga information na ilalagay nyo po dito sa recording ninyo into a printed way. Naintindihan po? Communicating with people in the workplace. How do we communicate with people in the workplace? Communicating courteously and clearly, an important part of your job is to pass on information to other people. Lots of message and instruction that you receive in person or by telephone or radio have to pass on to someone else. You can use the phone or a written notes to pass on the information, or you could speak to other person face-to-face. So sabi ni Ma'am Jovell, ang atin daw pong face-to-face class ay mangyayari po on, sabihin natin is July 22. I'm going to give you the training plan natin para maging aware po kayo sa mga schedule natin. Naintindihan si Ma'am? So, bibigyan ko kayo, again bibigay ko sa inyo ang kopya po ng ating, isisend ko sa GC, ang kopya po ng ating training plan. Communicating to face-to-face. Communicating to face-to-face. Communicating face-to-face with other people involves speaking. Pakikipag-usap natin, pagsasalita, kasama daw po yun sa pakikipag-communicate natin ng harapan. Speaking, listening, observing, being observed. Kung ikaw ay tinitignan mula ulo hanggang paa, nakakatakot naman pala yun, ma'am. Because you are being observed. Kung minsan is, paano ka magsalita, paano ang galaw mo, paano ka maglakad, paano ang tamang pag-upo mo. Yun yung mga inuobserbahan sa inyo. When you are face-to-face with other person, you don't just hear the words. They say you also hear their tone of voice. See what they look like and watch how they behave. At the same time, they can hear, see, and watch you. Yun ang tatandaan natin. Observing and being observed. So, would you be convinced by the advice of a safety inspector who forgot his hard, the hat, and steel cup boots? Would you want to sandwich me by a lunch bar attendant with filthy hand and clothes? So, sinasabi lang po natin dito is you need to observe yung mga tao po na hindi naka-proper PPE at nagkandak ng paggawa ng sandwiches nang madumi ang kamay, hindi malinis, hindi maayos, do you think kakainin mo yon? Di ba hindi? For example naman, yung isang empleyado ay papasok po siya sa kanyang trabaho as construction worker. Then, nung siya po ay pumasok at hindi siya naka-proper PPE, ano po ang nangyari? The problem is, na-disgrasya siya. Nalaglagan siya ng bato sa ulo, wherein hindi siya naka-hard hat. So, siya po ay ipinadala pa sa ospital or siya ay isinugod sa ospital because of what happened. Next natin. Choosing the right way to share information depends on the needs and interests of the other person, not just on what you want to say when sharing information. What are the do's and don'ts? For the do's, stand or sit up straight, make eye contact, smile and greet the other person, listen and observe carefully, speak clearly, and get straight to the point. So ito yung ginagawa natin sa pakikipag-usap natin sa ating kapwa face-to-face. Ano po yung don't? Yung pag-upo ng slouch, round around, look around. Parang hindi ka magpapahuli ng buhay, ikot ka ng ikot, tingin ka ng tingin kung saan-saan. Read the newspaper and pretend you haven't noticed anyone. Interrupt or be distracted, mumbled, and waffle. Next is we have here the listening. Listening is more than hearing. It is required some effort. It involves nonverbal communication as well. When people are giving you instruction, you need to listen carefully so that the job is done safely and accurately. By being a good listener, as a listener, you should first listen for people's feeling. Pag ikaw po ay good listener, kailangan is pinapakinggan mo daw yung people's feeling, yung kausap mo. Parang sinasabi natin, put yourself to the foot of the other. Ganun po yon. Ilagay mo yung sarili mo sa sitwasyon niyang kausap mo. So, you are listening by the answer you give. Use nonverbal means to encourage the speaker to continue. Clear po ba sa atin ito? Speaking. So a lot of workplace communication involves asking questions or responding to inquiries. To get the answer you want, you have to ask the right question. Be specific about what you need to find out so that the other person understands clearly. For example is, what exactly you want to know? Ano po ba talaga ang gusto mo? Ano ba ang kailangan mo? What is the best way to ask? What is the best time to ask? So pag ikaw po ay nagsasalita, sabihin mo, ano po ba yung kailangan? Then, kapain mo yung lugar, obserbahan mo yung paligid at yung mga taong kasama mo doon bago ka magtanong. Baka mamaya, busy lahat ng mga kasama mo sa trabaho, then nagtanong ka, don't expect po na masasagot ka agad-agad yung tanong mo. Response to inquiry. How do you respond to inquiry? For instance, if you are asked, where is the instruction manual? You should explain where it is kept. Saan po ba ito nakalagay? The person doesn't know where to look. Where it is not in its usual place, the person is angry that it's not where it should be. So, ang tanong is, where is the instruction manual? Nagtatanong siya, asan ang manual or where is the recipe book? Yun ang tanong ni Ma'am Jovell. Kasi tinignan ko sa lagayan, wala doon. So, ang sabi natin dito is, why you are not using the instruction manual? Tinanong kita, nagluluto ka, for example. Sabi natin si Mama Fante, oh, Mama Fante, bakit hindi ka gumagamit ng recipe natin? So, maaaring maging, okay, sabihin natin, maiba yung recipe mo or maiba yung ginagawa mo dahil hindi mo sinusunod yung mga procedure na nakasulat sa recipe or hindi mo sinusunod yung sukat na nasa recipe. Basta lang ibinubuhos mo yung harina sa mixture na ginagawa mo. Next is communicating by telephone or radio. So how do we communicate by telephone or radio? The procedure for telephone or radio communication are very similar because they both rely solely on speech. It is more difficult to communicate when you can see how the other person is responding. Kuminsan, doon mo lang malalaman sa boses, sa tone ng boses kung galit ba siya, siya po ba is not in a good condition, siya po ba ay malungkot. So doon mo lang mararamdaman sa tone ng boses niya. Kasi hindi mo naman po siya nakikita ng face-to-face eh. Nakikita mo lang po siya o naririnig mo lang siya sa telepono o sa radyo. The main section of your business and what they do, the approximate number of person employed, workplace guidelines and policy for matters you deal with. So ano po ito? Because you are representing your workplace or section, you should know some basic facts about it. So ito raw yung mga facts. What service or product you provide? Ito po bang bake shop ni Ma'am Jovell? Ano po ba ang servisyong inire-render ko? Ano po ba yung itinitinda ko? For example, magaling po itong tindahan na to. Or ito po ay best pagdating sa banana cake. Or pagdating sa which is pandesal. So those are the service or the product na pinoprovide ng ating tindahan or ng GIST bake shop. The main section of your business and what they do. So nasabi mo na we are best in baking banana cake and we are best in baking which is pandesal. The approximate number of person employed. For example, newly lang po ito. So 5 lang po kaming empleyado dito. So kasama na po yung may-ari sa 5. So workplace guidelines and policies for what matters you deal with. So kailangan alam mo din yung guidelines na yon. Yung mga empleyado ko po bang ito is sila po ba ay libre sa pagkain? Sila po ba ay may day off? Ilang oras po ba ang pasok nila? So sabihin natin, meron po silang pasok na 9 na oras, pero meron silang 1 oras na break. Then ano po ba yung mga binibigay sa kanilang benepisyo? Kasama po yun. Whenever you ask speaking to clients, you should be discreet. Don't discuss internal workplace problem. Accept responsibility for handling the calls. If you can't help the caller, offer to find someone or some way to help. Don't blame someone else for problems or difficulties. Stay calm and cool. So yan yung mga dapat tatandaan pag ikaw ay nakikipag-usap sa mga kliyente. Making calls. So pag nakikipag-usap tayo, we need to ask the name of the person you're calling. Thank you for sabihin natin, good morning, this is Jovell Villanueva. I'm looking for, sabihin natin, Mr. Vincent Bataon. The section where the person works on. Looking for Mr. Vincent Bataon. So he's one of the, sabihin natin, manager of RCBC Bank. And then, may I know, pag tinanong ka, may I know the extension number of Mr. Vincent Bataon? The extension number is 21212. The reason for calling, I'm calling about my bank account. How to address the person? Sabihin natin is, it's Mr. Vincent Bataon. What you want to know? So nasabi mo na kailangan ko pong ayusin ang aking bank account. Mag-open ako ng bank account. When you want the information to be delivered or you want you to be the one to deliver the information. How you want the job done? Yun ang tanong natin eh. So, face-to-face ka bang pupunta doon? Ipaprocess na lang nila sa bangko? So, yun yung mga question na pinag-uusapan natin dito sa making calls. Pero ma'am, paano naman po pagka nasa bake shop ako? Paano po yung flow natin doon? Wait lang po. So, syempre, pagka sa bake shop na po, so same po, sino ang tinatawagan? I'm looking for Ma'am Jovell Villanueva. So, under what section? He's the, sabihin natin, pastry, anong pangalan ni Ma'am Jovell? He's assistant baker of GIST Bake Shop. Extension number is 123. The reason for calling, because I want to book or I want to order 3-layer cake. Then, how to address the person. So, syempre, Chef Jovell, for example, yun yung address mo sa akin. May I please talk to to Chef Jovell Villanueva. So, what you want to know? So, may I know how much would be the cost for the 3-layer cake? What you want done? So, ang tanong natin dito is, kailan po kaya magagawa yung order ko? Kasi kailangan ko yung 3-layer cake by July 14. So, ipipick up po yung cake dito sa inyo. So, may assurance po ba na hindi malalaglag? Or ito po ba ay i-assemble nyo yung 3-layer cake pagdating sa venue? So, those are the information na kinakailangan mo kapag ka naman making calls ka sa bake shop. So those are examples. So you could change some of the information na patungkol po doon sa making calls. So it's up to you. Naintindihan po? Receiving calls. You should also be prepared for receiving calls. Paano po ba tumatanggap ng tawag? Have a pen or a sharpened pencil and the message pad ready. Answer the call promptly. Greet the caller with a pleasant voice. Identify your business and section and yourself. Write down the caller's name and find out all the information. Good instruction are simple, logical, and clear. Learning a new skills. Be introduced to the skills, get to know it, try it, and get back on how you're going apply the skill. So, paano po ba natin gagawin ito? So, sabi natin, be introduced to the skill, katulad nito. Some of you guys ay hindi pa raw po marunong mag-bake. So, syempre, introduce ko sa inyo ang pag-bake. So, I'm going to let you know some of the basic, sabihin natin, baking method, mixing method. Kailangan mong malaman yon. Cooking method, baking method, and then mixing method. You should know that. Then, kung naipaliwanag na sa inyo ito, kayo naman po yung gagawa nito pang sarili na ninyo. Then, get feedback on how you're going and then apply the skill. Nung ginagawa mo na siya, ano ang nangyari? So, ilalagay mo po doon na medyo hindi ko pa po gamay kung paano po gawin yung pagninid, kung paano po gawin yung paggawa ng mirang. So, yun yung pag-feedbacking. And then, uulit-ulitin mo siya hanggang sa makuha mo na yung pamamaraan kung paano gawin yung skills na ini-introduce sa'yo. Clarifying instruction. How do you clarify instruction? First is, you will often have to follow instruction and then pass them on to someone else. Sometimes the person giving the instruction doesn't follow the 5-step described earlier. This is when you should ask questions to find out how you are written instruction. So written instruction should be clear, exact, and logical. Be set out in orders in which they have to be done. Be set out in small, manageable steps. Have space between the steps to show what they are separate. Have space between the steps to show that they are separate. Explain what to expect at each step. Be written to suit the person who will read them. Next would be is be free of jargon, and unnecessary technical terms, including advice on safety and troubleshooting. Working in a group. How do you work in a group? Work groups. Many workplace set up groups of workers to perform a certain jobs or achieve a particular goal. So, paano po ba daw natin gagawin yung working in a group? Shutting down equipments for annual maintenance, organizing a rejuvenation program, revising OHS, Occupational Health and Safety Guidelines, planning a specific event. Kayo po ay work in a group na nag-uusap kayo, pinag-usapan nyo, ano po ba ang nangyari dito sa ating business? Bakit po parang ang business firm natin ay bumabagsak na? Ano po ba ang naging problema? So ma'am, parang hindi po na i-apply ang occupational health and safety. So kailangan ayusin to, kailangan baguhin to, so, kailangan i-revise ito. So yun yung mga makakatulong at naisip po nila na nag-uusap. Sino po ba itong mga working in a group? These are for example, the owner, the supervisor, the managers. Sila po yung mga tao on the top of the organization na nag-uusap at nagdi-decision making. Your group decision. When people come together in group, they bring many different ideas. Experience and skill, working in group foster, initiative, tolerance and trust. Work group can share information, solve problems, make decisions, accomplish tasks. For work group to be successful, people have to communicate and cooperate. So do you have question with regards to this topic? Wala po?
Wala po.
Wala po? Okay, so let's move on po. Puntahan po natin ngayon ang work in a team environment. For the work in a team environment, ano po ba ang meron dito? So, environment is essential to a workplace. Okay, so a team environment is essential to a workplace. A team is defined as its composition, cultures, and goal. So dito pa lang pag sinabi natin ang isang team is there is a composition, a culture, and a goal.
Wala na. Nakakita ng baka para sa hindi pa sa baba. Last ng bata.
Ma'am Rizalyn, pakimute po ang mic ninyo. Salamat.
Sorry po, ma'am.
Okay po. Okay lang po. Okay, so sa team environment po natin, sabi natin, is essential to a workplace. A team is defined by its composition, culture, and goal. It is made of people with complementary skills who have common goals. So ano ba? Tayo po, ano ang goal natin? Nandito tayo sa bread and pastry production. Ang goal natin is matuto. Ang goal natin is makapag-bake tayo ng ube cheese pandesal, ng dinner roll. Pero anong pinaka-main goal natin? Tayo ay matuto, tayo ay makakuha ng certificate, tayo ay makapagtayo ng isang business na makakatulong sa ating pamilya. Bakit ko sinasabi na all of us here ang goal natin is magkaroon tayo ng business kasi under kayo ng SPEP na kung saan dito tinuturuan po kayo kung paano makapag-create ng isang business. Naintindihan? Describe team role and scope. A team role consists of 3 categories. Action-oriented role, which includes sharper, implementer, and completer, finisher role, people-oriented roles, which include coordinator, team worker, and resource investigator, and goal-oriented roles, which include the plant monitoring evaluator, specialist role. Team formed on a basis of Belbin's category are effective in achieving their objectives. So developing team objectives. How do we developing team objectives? So teka muna, meron tayo ditong Belbin's category. Para lang maging clear, nakikita po ba yung Belbin's category?
Hindi po. Wala po, ma'am.
Malabo pa rin po. Malabo pa rin po.
Wala po lumalabas sa screen ko, ma'am eh.
Wait po. Wala pa rin po nakikita.
Loading po, ma'am.
Hindi pa rin po nakikita.
Yes po, wala po, ma'am.
Okay, so babasahin ko na lang po yung nandito sa Belbin's category. The team role is we have here the plant. So ano ang contribution nito? Creative, imaginative, free thinking, generate ideas, and solve difficult problems. Wait po.
Ito naman tanghali ano, ma'am?
Opo. Nakikita po ba? O malabo po?
Yes po, meron na po.
Malabo po ba? Or tama lang po?
Okay na po, ma'am.
Okay, so i-discuss ko po itong Belvin's category. So, for the team role, plant, contribution, creative, imaginative, free thinking, generates idea and solve difficult problems. Allowable weakness, ignores incidental, to preoccupied to communicate effectively. Yan po yung sa unang-una natin sa plant. Resource investigator, outgoing, enthusiastic, communicative, explorer, opportunities and develop contact. Allowable weakness niya is over-optimistic, loses interest once initial enthusiasm has passed. So, ibig sabihin, kung nasa isang team kayo, kung ito po yung mga nagiging, alam niyo po yan, attitude po, nung ating mga nagiging empleyado or kasama po dun sa business, ito po yung mga, sabihin natin, may tagapagplano, merong resource investigator, merong coordinator, sharpener. So, ito yung mga na-contribute po nila doon sa isang business firm. Then, ito naman po yung weakness nila. So, sabihin natin, ma'am, bakit talaga may weakness? Yes. Kasi nga po, sabihin na lang natin na kung ako po ay masyadong perfecto, ang hirap naman po baliin kung ano yung sinabi ko. Kung sa sarili ko, alam ko na ako ay perfecto. Naiintindihan po, walang perfecto sa buong mundo. So lahat po ay merong weaknesses at merong kakayahan na i-contribute sa isang business firm. Naintindihan po?
Yes, ma'am.
Next natin, developing team objectives. Every team needs to be driven by a deeply rooted sense of mission, shared team goals that are seen as more important than individual agendas. It is these team's objectives that bind a team together. And keep it cohesive even when obstacles or internal disagreement arise. Taking time upfront to ensure everyone understands the mission and agrees on how it will be achieved can pay off with enhanced productivity later. Every organization has mission statement, vision statement, corporate department, and individual goals. Tama po. So nasusunod po natin yung ating corporate goal by following also the mission and the vision na ating institusyon or ng ating business firm. So, we're going... Sino sir? Sino po? Sir, wala pong utang pala. Okay po. So, ulitin natin Sa developing team objective natin, so gaya ng sinasabi nga po natin is, asa na po yun? You should have the daily objective, ensuring that these daily objectives are achieved in part of a long-term plan and essential to being an effective leader. So, lahat naman tayo is masasabi nating effective leader tayo. Kaya lang nga po, we should know how effective this, diba, sabi natin, daily objective na ginagawa po natin. So I have a daily objective na matapos ko yung bawat task ngayong araw. So kung hindi ko siya matapos, kailan po ba ang deadline nito? So tayo is merong objective every day na dumadaan sa buhay natin. So yun nga lang po is kinakailangan po na matapos mo siya for the allowed time sa'yo. Alam nga namang nagbayad ng kumpanya sa'yo, tapos hindi mo naman po pala siya, again nagbayad ang company sa'yo, hindi mo naman po pala siya na-consume or natapos yung task assigned sa'yo. Kasi every day na ikaw po ay pumapasok sa trabaho, hindi pwede na stagnant ka lang. Alam mo yung, ito lang yung ginagawa ko. Hanggang sa matapos ako, hanggang sa mag-anim na buwan ako dito, ito lang yung ginagawa ko. Or hindi ko pa natatapos yung task assigned sa akin. Ay naku, baka mamaya, tatanungin ka ng owner o tatanungin ka ng manager mo, o Jovell, asa ng team objective mo ba? Bakit hanggang ngayon, 6 na buwan na, hindi mo pa rin natatapos yung task assigned sa'yo? Diba parang nakakahiya na yun, 6 months na? Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na, kasi ang dami po nito eh. So kung marami yan, per day dapat ginagawan mo siya ng time frame para natatapos siya. Next natin is the team role and responsibility. What is the team role and responsibility? To effectively manage a team, you need to have a clear understanding of the role people play. As a member of the team, there are a number of different theories that had been developed. Which categories the different type of role and personalities people display. The team behavior and performance is a reflection on each member. Develop a team plan. Ito na po yun. We have here the sharper, the plank, the coordinator, monitoring evaluator, resource investigator, implementer, the team worker, specialist. So may keyword dito. Knowledge is familiarity, awareness, or understanding, or someone or something such as facts, information, description, or skills, which is acquired through experience or education by perceiving, discovering, or learning. So yun yung tatandaan po natin Identifying team tasks. How are you going to identify the team tasks? First is state the goal to be addressed. Ngayong araw ang goal natin is kailangan matuto kayong gumawa ng dinner roll. List the tasks required to achieve that goal. O ito ang recipe, ito ang procedure. So yun yung task, gagawa ng dinner roll, ito ang recipe, ito ang procedure. Group similar tasks under one heading. For example, inventory control. For example, gagawa ng dinner roll, kailangan yung mag-mise en place. Ito yung oras ng pag-mise en place natin for 30 minutes. After that, 30 minutes, you need to mix your ingredients or your raw ingredients. Pag na-mix mo na sila for another 30 minutes, I'm going to give you 1 hour for kneading your dough. So yun yung sa group similar task. So maaaring this is individual task or this is group individual task. It depends doon sa setting ng teacher. Determine the resource needed to complete each task. So ano ba yung mga resources natin? So for example, Kung kinailangan ko po na ako ay naka-proper PPE. Kinailangan ko po na ako ay naka-proper PPE. Ako po ay nakakumpleto ng mga tools and equipment na kailangan ko sa pagbe-bake ng dinner roll. Nakapag-kumpleto ako ng mise en place ng mga ingredients. Pag sinabi natin mise en place, put everything in place. Ako po ba ay tandaan natin measure po ba ako ng mga kinakailangan? Ang tanong natin, nakapag-measure po ba ako ng mga kinakailangan ko ng tama? Kasi pati ang pag-measure natin ng mga ingredients, may mga pamamaraan kung paano siya gagawin. Determine the resources needed to complete each task. Define the role, responsibility, authority, and accountability for each task. Habang kayo po ay nagmamasa, sinabihan kayo ni Ma'am Jovell, o paghaluin na yan, may 1 oras kayo para mag-knead. So habang nininid nyo, you need to double check if there is the window pane. So yun yung basihan kung pwede nang i-rest for another 1 hour yung dough. Kung wala pa pong window pane, double check mo kung may blister na. Kumbaga parang mayroong yung mixture po natin ng dough, may para na pong mga nakaangat na particles. So, ibig sabihin, kung may mga nakaangat ng particles, so it means na ito po daw ay malapit nang magkaroon ng window pane. So, dino-double check nyo yung ganito, ito yung dough, double check nyo yung mga surfaces area na to, kung meron ng blister. Then, after mong tignan ng blister, ang dami na niyang blister, ma'am. So, kuha ka ng kaprasong particles ng dough, then, ihilahin mo siya ng dahan-dahan. Kapag nahila mo na siya dahan-dahan, that is the time na makikita mo naman po kung may window pane na. So yun yung in-example ko lang po yung procedure ng paggawa ng dinner roll dito sa identifying the team task. Next natin, ano po ba ang ibig sabihin ng goal? Goal is an idea of the future or desired result that a person or a group of people envision, plans, and commit to achieve. So yun daw po yung goal. SMART is a common acronym used to describe setting goals or objectives. So briefly, SMART is specific and clear. You should be specific and clear sa bawat task assigned sa'yo. The objective is identified. Ano ba ang gagawin ko ngayong araw? Ay gagawa po kami ngayong araw ng pie. So naka-specify kung ano yung dapat ninyong gawin ngayong araw. Next is measurable. There is some forms of measurement built in. So gaya ng sinabi ko, tama po ba yung pagsusukat mo ng ingredients? Next is achievable. The team has the capacity to achieve. Okay, pag sinabi sa inyo ni Ma'am Jovell, ito yung kailangan ninyong gawin para ma-achieve nyo yung danes ng niluluto ninyo. You need to preheat the oven. Realistic, the goal must be within the capabilities of the team. That is the realistic. Pag sinabi sa inyo na 12 pieces ang kailangang kalabasan, nakagawa nga kayo ng 12 pieces sa muffin pan ng tart. So, ibig sabihin, there is the realistic na sunod mo yung goal. Time-related, there is a defined time frame to achieve the goal. Pag sinabi sa inyo na mag-preheat ng oven for about 100 degrees Celsius o 350 degree Fahrenheit. So, after po nun is, the next is, pagka salang mo po, hinaan ang apoy hanggang mag 300 degree Fahrenheit. So after that, you're going to cook your tart for about 20 to 30 minutes. So that is a time related. Do you have question po? There's no question. So mag-e-end po ako ng class today. So hanggang tomorrow po natin pag-uusapan. Siguro po hanggang 13 po natin pag-uusapan yung basic competency. Then on 14, mag-start na po tayo ng common competency natin. Do you have any question po? With regards
Wala
to...
na po, ma'am. Wala, ma'am.
Wala naman po.
ma'am. Thank you po. Wala
Pwede po
naman
ba
po.
tayo mag-open ng ating camera para naman po makapag-screenshot po si Ma'am Jovell na kailangan po kasi natin ito i-comply sa TESDA. So paki-open po ang inyong camera. Okay. Wait lang po. Okay, so